Today we're gonna rank some of my past Halloween costumes because I am totally and completely unbiased. All the costumes that we're gonna look at today are from my late high school and college years because I didn't really start loving Halloween until college when I started doing Halloween as a craft project and making my own costumes. That's when it got fun for me. But in honor of spooky season, I'm just gonna go through some of these. I will go in chronological order and give you some ratings on my past Halloween costumes. Starting off strong from the year 2011, I was Kesha for Halloween. I'm gonna throw up a reference picture on the screen of what Kesha looked like in 2011, so maybe you understand the costume a little better. Back in 2011, she was just this glittery, messy-haired party girl. And I'll tell you why I happened to be Kesha that year. I had gotten invited to a Halloween party, and I was super on the fence about going, and I didn't make up my mind that I was actually gonna go until the last minute, as per usual Darby fashion, so I needed to throw together a costume last minute. A lot of this costume actually came straight out of my closet. The shirt, the shorts, I already owned. The boots came from my mom's closet. I bought the fishnets, glitter hairspray, and like a glitter body spray. I did the over-exaggerated eye makeup. I doused my whole body in glitter and I teased my hair up crazy. And that was it. I was Kesha. This outfit was super easy, super cheap, super comfy to wear, and back in that day, it was super pop culturally relevant. Like, Kesha had just catapulted to stardom around this time, so everyone knew who I was. If I were ranking this look as me from 2011, I'd probably give it about a 7, but ranking it today in 2022, I'm gonna give it like a 6. Next up, from my senior year in high school, we have one of my favorite costumes. It's the only trio costume in the group, and it's me, Tyler, and our friend Helene doing Kim Possible, Ron Stoppable, and Rufus. This was such a fun, easy costume. I bought absolutely nothing for this outfit. Everything came from mine or my mom's closet. Kim Possible was always one of my favorite Disney Channel shows, so to get to live that childhood dream was also super fun. I distinctly remember running around the party, fake answering the phone, like, what's the sitch? Like, you got it, Wade. It was just a lot of fun. Love this costume. Love that we added Rufus because that's an addition that most people don't make. So I give this one like a 9 out of 10. Now we're moving into the college years where I really started loving Halloween because I started viewing Halloween as a craft project and making my costumes, which made it a lot more fun for me. And first up we have my freshman year costume. I was a circus ringleader. I was actually so pleased with myself about how this outfit turned out because I thrifted that red blazer and turned it into a circus ringleader costume. The blazer was actually way too big for me, so I took it in the back, and you can't see it in this picture, but I added coattails to the bottom to give it more of that circus ringleader look. You can kind of see the fringe I added on the shoulders, and you can't see the collar under my hair, but it was completely gold sequined. I added rhinestones and feathers and changed on the back. There was a bunch of buttons going down to the coattails to give it that really circus ringleader-y look. This is the first costume I ever made part of, and I fell in love in that moment. I decided I loved Halloween. I actually let a friend of mine borrow this outfit for Halloween, I think 2 years later, so she got to wear it as well. So it was money well spent, and I still love this outfit. If I had to rate it, I give it like a 9 out of 10. Also, as an honorable mention from freshman year, a bunch of friends and I got recruited from our acting class to be scare actors for the university-sponsored haunted attractions that they were doing. And this is me all zombied up, painted up, ready to scare the crap out of people. And I really enjoyed it. That's a 10 out of 10. Next, we move on to sophomore year, where I really decided to commit to the bit. Because if you're gonna do it right. Sophomore year for Halloween, I was a Gumball Machine. And in case you couldn't tell from the photo, yes, those are real gumballs. I won't tell you how long I sat on my dorm room floor, cutting gumballs in half with a butter knife so that they would lay properly on this top, and then gluing them strategically so no two of the same colors were next to each other, plotting it out perfectly. This took literal years off of my life. But honestly, it was worth it because I knew if I showed up to a party and there was another girl dressed as a Gumball Machine, she would have taken the easy way out and used pom-poms, those little squishy things. No, if I was gonna do it, I was gonna do it right and authentically, and I was gonna be a Gumball Machine. The commitment on this outfit gets a 12 out of 10, but I will tell you that the inside of my arm by the end of the night was dyed multicolored from the gumballs because they were real gumballs. So the wow factor, the commitment, the overall aesthetic, those all get a 12 out of 10. I will dock the costume 2 points for how sticky it got by the end of the night, but that's still, if you can do math, a 10 out of 10. Now we move on to junior year, which is the last year that I made my costume and my least favorite of all of my made costumes. This year, I was a mermaid. Now, I don't hate it. The concept was good, the thought was there, but my vision was a floor-length skirt with 2 fins of that tulle coming out the side. But I'll tell you what happened. I was a junior in college. I'm taking all upper level classes. I'm taking 6 classes and working 30 hours a week. I just simply ran out of time, which is expected, but a little heartbreaking since I used to love mermaids as a kid. I was always the kid whose favorite princess was the Little Mermaid, and I wanted to do this costume justice. But the sheer workload, the sleep deprivation, the lack of time really set in on this one, and you can kind of tell. Now, to be fair to the costume, this wasn't a terrible costume, especially for a homemade costume, in the amount of time I was able to pull it off. It just wasn't my vision, but everyone still knew I was a mermaid, so I can't dock it complete points for that. I give it like a 5 out of 10. I really wanted to love that costume, and I think that's the problem. I had really high hopes for this, and I just did not have the time to really make it come to fruition. Now, senior year, I had 2 costumes because my college roommate and I both kind of picked a costume that we wanted to do as a duo costume and made that fantasy come to life. Her pick was first up, and we did this little heaven and hell, saints and sinners type vibe. She really just wanted to wear this black dress, and I don't blame her. It looks fantastic on her. It was a super easy costume. No one really knew what we were, but we looked pretty, so no one really cared. So that was okay. I give this one like a 7 out of 10. It's not the most inventive concept. It's not the most obvious thing to be, but we looked good. So 7 out of 10. Next up was my pick, and I chose for us to be Blair Waldorf and Serena Vander Woodsen from Gossip Girl. This was another cheap, easy to put together costume, and everyone at the bars knew who we were, so I was super pleased about that. You can't see them in this picture, but I'm wearing black 4-inch stiletto heels, and I want to dock this costume points for how uncomfy those shoes were, but I won't for 2 reasons. Number 1, I chose the shoes. That's my fault. I picked them, not the costume. And 2, beauty is pain. Miss Blair Waldorf would have absolutely been stomping around the Upper East Side in those shoes and making it look easy. So I wore them and I sucked it up, and I won't dock the costume points for that. So this costume gets like an 8.5 out of 10. Can I give half points? It's my game, my rules, 8.5 out of 10. That actually ends the college year's costume, but I'm going to include one more from the year after I graduated because it's just too good not to include. The year after I graduated, I was going to visit a friend who was still in college to go to a party, and I was Elle Woods from Legally Blonde in the scene where she dresses up as the bunny to a party that's not a costume party, and she goes, "I'll show you how valuable Elle Woods can be." That was the turning point in the movie where she basically said, "Oh, you guys still aren't taking me seriously even though I got into Harvard Law School? I'll show you what I can do." I love this scene, I love this costume, I love this movie. This is a 10 out of 10. There are definitely more costumes I could talk about, but I think that's plenty enough for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which of these costumes was your favorite or what you're planning to be for Halloween this year. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe below. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!